In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to GeniusBrainPodcast. I'm your host, Boze Bosington. I'm joined by special guest, David So.
You fucking tiny ass little girl. You fit right into that seat.
Sorry, David. No. Please introduce your show.
No, that's good.
You really looked at me. You were like, this bitch,
like,
she really about to do this.
She brought out her fucking NPR voice and everything.
No, this is my sniffles voice. This podcast it will actually be ASMR sniffles. Sometimes though too, like I feel like I do this honking thing when I'm talking, so I apologize in advance.
What do you mean honking?
Like that. It happens because it goes into my nose.
Really?
Yeah. I'm forewarning you.
Well, I'll tell you this. Everybody has been wanting you back on this channel since you first came on.
Really?
You fucking made Dave Chappelle, by the way.
Oh, yes.
You stupid bitch. I was so upset.
God.
I was so upset.
Yeah.
What was it like? What's his hands feel like?
Okay.
What's he smell like?
So this is what, dude, I don't think I told you this either. So yeah, I met Dave Chappelle the other day and like, we all grew up watching Chappelle show.
Yeah.
And so I knew my boss was very close friends with them. I mean, they're like tight. I knew that, but it just, on this day, it was not crossing my mind. So I'm coming in from my lunch break, and my boss is in the lobby, and he's never in the lobby. Like, he's always busy. And he's like, oh, hey, I want you to meet Jonathan. And I'm like, oh, hey. And this was a guy that had used to work in our department, and I heard his name 1,000 times. I was excited to meet him. I was like, oh, Jonathan, wow, hey. Talk to him for a minute. Then my boss is like, hey, I want you to meet Jeremy. And I'm like, oh, hey, Jeremy, good to see you. Just coming back from lunch. I need to get back to my desk, get to work. And I'm about to walk off, and then my boss is like, oh, have you met Dave? And I'm like, hey, I'm in this bald, beautiful black man turns around and it is Dave Chappelle. And so like after meeting two people that were just office people, when I heard Dave and he just called him by the name Dave, I'm thinking this is going to be
Dave Wickerworts.
Yeah.
Dave Schwartz.
And he just turns around and my ass was like, like visibly jarred because like this man was like my childhood. And then he was like, hey, how you doing? I'm Dave. And I'm like, bitch, I know. I know.
And then you slowly got on your knees and you grabbed his butt cheeks.
And I was like, let me just hold you close. Thank you for everything. But I mean, I shook it. Hey. And then I went upstairs. I was pacing around back and forth and shit. And then he does his meeting. And then he comes back into our office. And like, I have a shared office with somebody else.
You tell him to get the fuck out. Then you made passionate love to him.
No. I did. There was buzz around the office that Dave Chappelle was in our room because he came in and he was just talking to us. He was just shooting the shit. Like he was talking about Kanye West and talking about, because my coworker had asked about that. He was talking about cancel culture. He was talking about like one of his specials, like why he couldn't smoke during it. He was just talking to us like a normal ass person. And I was like, am I really at a point in my life where I'm in the same room as Dave Chappelle and just having a conversation?
Absorbing knowledge?
Dude. And like at one point I said some shit and he laughed and I was like, I made Dave Chappelle laugh. I was like, this is it. This has happened.
Dude, once you made Dave Chappelle laugh, you're pretty much good to go.
It's over. It's over. I mean, it was a light chuckle. Like I'm not going to take like a full body, wwholehearted laugh, but like.
Hey man, he smiled.
Oh man.
Damn,
my heart.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It was, honestly, like it sounds weird, but it's almost like, I don't want to be like whack, but like it's kind of like a powerful thing because this is a person that I grew up watching and now I'm just shooting the shit with you. Like even if it is for 15 minutes, it kind of reminds you like you're here now. You should have
called me that much. Excuse me, Mr. Dave. That's because that's what I would call him, Mr. Dave, not even Mr. Chappelle.
Mr. Dave.
Excuse me, Mr. Dave. I need you to stay here for 15 minutes because I have a friend who's going to run here right now. Not even get in an Uber. I'm just going to run and I'm going to be there in 15 fucking minutes.
Dude, guys, and like David and I talk occasionally. Like once a month. I mean, twice a month, maybe.
We talk pretty frequently.
I mean, no, actually, now I feel like it's been at least once every 2 weeks. And it's like a full-on phone call. I'm like, David. And you're like, yes. But David was the first fucking person I texted.
I almost shit bricks.
The first person. Before my mother, before my brother, before my cousins. David first. Because I wanted to flex on you.
She knows how much I love Dave Chappelle. Like if one of the biggest reasons why I think like, I don't want to say I fell out of love for stand-up, but I kind of did was because like when you do things, you don't ever have to be the top of everything, right? I that's a goal that I like. But to say that I just never could see myself doing stand-up as well as like Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was discouraging. Not because like I want to be, not because you have to do that with everything that you do, but for me, it's like if I can never reach a level to something as similar to his, then for me, it's like a pointless craft. It's just more like I'll do it for fun. But I see him and I see him work, and it's pretty amazing. And I know that some people like who aren't that big of Dave Chappelle fans, they can't see it because his stand-up to me is like somebody who has honed his craft so well that it just sounds like your friend is talking to you on stage.
Yeah.
And then you don't even see his setup
It's
coming.
effortless.
It's fucking effortless. I'm like, how do you do that? Because I don't sound like that when I do stand-up.
You know what, though, too? I think it's because we get so caught up in, like, the YouTube world and, like, the digital media of, like, what's your brand? And, like, gotta stay true to my brand. And his brand is himself. I think he 100% knows who he is. I think his brand is just Dave, and he's just talking.
Yeah.
Like, he's really just talking. His delivery is himself.
His delivery is great.
Oh,
you know, and I remember, too, because I just watched, like, this old stand-up set of mine from, like, 10 years ago, right? And it was the first time I did stand-up in, like, a couple years, right? And I hadn't done it in so long, and this is when I first came out to LA. I was like, yo, let me just do this. Like, whatever, let's get these fucking wheels greased up again, because I was doing YouTube. And so I was like, let's go back into stand-up again. And so that day, I heard Bill Burr was in the house. Freaking worst experience of my life because I was so nervous now because I love Bill Burr. There's two comics that I fucking love. It's Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle. So those two are my top favorites. And Bill Burr was at the comedy club. And I had to perform. And I remember, it's recorded too, I was so fucking nervous. I was just blasting through my jokes because it felt like I was going to throw up.
Oh my God.
Because I was confident up until the point they told me Bill Burr was there.
And he's just looking right at you like.
And I was like.
And it's like the most brutally honest comedian.
I was like, why? Why out of all days, after like 2 years of taking a hiatus, would Bill Burr have to be here? And I remember through that whole set, like I started grabbing my pants because I was trying to prevent myself from throwing up because I had to put grip on something. And I just kept flying through these jokes without any real setup. And I was so pissed because I was like, why out of all days did you have to come now? The one time that I haven't done stand-up in so long and you would have to be here. And it was so mortifying. I didn't do bad. But when I look back at that clip, I thought it was the worst set ever. But people were cracking up.
I mean, I don't know, David. That sucks cock. With him being front and center, just judging.
I was fucking like, I was dying. And it sucks too because like, now, and you know, just to go right back to the Dave Chappelle thing, when I watch something like that, you could tell that I'm just trying to tell a joke rather than just be a funny guy. And that's the thing that Dave does so well.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Dave. Mr. Dave.
Mr. Dave. From now on, we will only refer to him as Mr. Dave.
Dude, that's when you know when you respect somebody, when their first name is their last name. It's like, Mr. Dave.
Well, I call you Brother David all the time.
Brother David.
but I'm here, Brother David.
I know. I'm prophetic in that sense. That's what I do. Yeah, man, but Dave Chappelle, when he tells those jokes, that shit gets my spirit. And I'm like, damn, dude, how you do it so effortlessly? Because everybody else, when I see them do stand-up sometimes, I'm like, I could tell you're trying to do a setup. Like, it feels like, have you ever, you know when? It's like, oh, man. Like, I think I've heard this trope a million times, but then when Dave talks, it's like, this is just one funny fucking dude.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I feel like, and like when you're around him, like he's just like a deep thinker. Like, and you really feel that.
If Dave Chappelle told me to suck his dick, I just...
All right.
I would slowly get on my knees. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm gonna suck your dick." He's like, "I never asked you to." I was like,
but sir,
but Mr. Dave, I'm a man of my word.
Now, David, I want to like change gears for a minute here.
Okay.
You know, I hate to hijack your show, but as you know, I don't have my own platform. So David's platform is my platform. Actually, I may have a platform soon.
Coming soon.
I want to switch gears here, David.
Switch them gears.
I want to switch these gears. I want to talk about something a little sensitive, but
I love sensitive.
I knew this was the right place for this. David, as you know, I am from Virginia.
I was like, I am black. I was like, I had no idea.
I'm like nervous about even talking like about this because like I might get fucking killed.
Oh, you'll be fine.
I might get fucking killed.
Oh, no, welcome to the show then. Everybody tries to kill me.
I like actually got nervous for a minute. Okay. So since I've moved out to LA, sometimes when I talk about how people are back home, people are like, That's not possible. Like a lot of times when people talk about racism, they're like, how could you be so small-minded? How could you think this? How could you? And I'm like, there really are people that have a completely different mentality than you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And actually when I was on Tim's podcast, I talked about a like particularly racist guy that I kind of dated for a while. Like it was like
he hated black people and he dated you?
I mean, he was never like racist towards me, but like I knew he had a Confederate flag somewhere in his house. I knew it.
He's like a glutton for punishment.
Like I mean, like trucks, guns, living out in the country, all that. So this guy in particular, sometimes he posts some very concerning things on Facebook. One of the things that I mentioned on Tim's podcast was he was this guy that had done this post. He's obsessed with the Civil War. And he had done this. Yeah. This is getting like, it's
we
like.
should have won.
Yeah, literally. You know what he said one time? He said the South would have won if they had more reserves. Like that's this guy. And so I get on Facebook the other day and he had made this post. I guess with everyone talking about gun control these days, and like that's kind of what I wanted to bring up because everyone's like gun control. Well, we should just get rid of these guns, like just ban them, And I agree with that, but there was something in the back of my mind that was like, these people are not going to just turn in their guns for money.
Oh, 100%. That's why the whole take away everybody's gun in the United States doesn't make sense because it's never going to happen. People, and so everyone that's talking about gun control now, gun control now, gun control now, I really want to remind people and open your eyes of the other issue of, I hate to say it, but the possibility of retaliation with how angry these people may be. Oh, for sure.
So this guy made this post, and this says, I'm going to skip a little bit. He said, I have created a militia page for the region of Virginia to protect our unalienable rights. We did not discriminate on age, ethnicity, or gender. All able-bodied individuals are welcome. We will be conducting firearms training, tactical training, meetings, events/rallies weekly once we have things in order. For any of my friends that care about your country and the direction it is going, or simply your gun ownership, please join this page I've started. You don't have to come out to train with us, but it'll be greatly appreciated. We will also work together to train with other militias in the nation, in the state to preserve our constitutional rights. If things turn south with the current legislation, we will protect our gun ownership at all costs. And I looked, and the page is very popular. It's very popular. This is not a fucking joke. Like,
oh, for sure.
They're starting a militia to protect their gun. Like, bitch, what the fuck? I'm scared.
Well, you know what the thing is about that too, and I think for anybody who listens to this that's outside of the United States, I think it's really hard for people to grasp how much gun ownership has been ingrained into the culture of Americans. Like, it's almost like if you don't own a gun, you are not American. Mm-hmm. That is how connected people are to their firearms over here. So when people have solutions for gun control, now I'm not as well versed in this as Joe is, right? But just from the stuff that I've read and I've researched about here and there when Joe would talk about it, for somebody to come up and say, hey, the way for us to get rid of guns in the United States is to take everybody's firearms. And to that I say, good fucking luck.
Good fucking luck.
Would you think you're going to show up and then take everybody's guns? Motherfucker, there are so many illegal firearms in this. For example, when I was 14, I had 2 Glocks. Right? So it's like, I had 2 guns, right? I wasn't registered.
One time I shot a gun and I cried.
That shit's powerful, dude.
I paid money to be on the range and I didn't even want the refund. I just let.
I had 2 Glocks, didn't know how to use it, right? It's just, the older homie was like, hey, just in case you need this. I'm like, just in case for what? What are we doing? I'm like, my God.
What are we doing?
Yeah. I'm going to a Bonds. Like, what do I need this for? Who are we robbing?
For protection, David.
But, I don't want to be like a little bitch and I'm like, yeah, I need this. And I would take it. And then I would take the gun in the most bitch way possible. I had my pinky out and I would hold it like it was a hot potato chip like this. I'm like, oh shit, thanks, man. I got this. But, it was that easy for me to get a gun at the age of 14. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, for somebody to have a solution to say, we're going to take all guns and then follow suit of these other countries who, by the way, are way smaller than this country, right? Not as vast. Just for example alone, California and Texas can be its own country with our population and the infrastructure if they wanted, right? This podcast is brought to you by Vistaprint, my friends. Now, have you ever received a card that's customized? A gift that's customized? It feels great, doesn't it? It shows that they have effort. It shows that they love you. It shows that they didn't just get something off a shelf, wrap it up, and just toss it in your face for the holidays. When it's unique to you and when they made it from their heart, it feels great. It adds a little touch of holiday love, right? A picture of them, a family, or even their dog. It feels more personal. It's, I said personable. It's more memorable and it means more to receive it. Well, my friends, check it out. No matter where you'll be during your time off, whether it's skiing, hanging out at beaches, or settling in at home with your loved ones, nothing says happy holidays like custom cards, calendars, and photo gifts from Vistaprint. And it's awesome how you can do it, man. When you go there, you can pick a shape like square or rounded corners, folded or flat, and then choose one of Vistaprint's designs. They got everything from fun and festive to gorgeous eye-catching looks. Next, you can put your favorite picture right there on most of the options and even upload a great shot right from your phone. Then, all you have to do is just figure out how many you need and order them with time to spare. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed, or they'll make it right either by reprinting your order or offering a refund. So this season, make more merry at Vistaprint.com with up to 50% off all holiday cards and photo calendars, plus great deals on photo gifts at Vistaprint.com. Just enter promo code BRAIN50. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code BRAIN50. The offer expires January 5th. Dems is facts, bitch. So, you know what I'm saying?
It's going to take 5 Connecticut to make 1 California.
Yeah. So if you're trying to take away guns from these type of people who love their guns, it's not going to happen, right?
Especially Texas. And you know, kind of the way that I see it is everyone has a way that they everyone has a place that they draw their power from. Like I've never owned a gun before. In order to feel like protected and confident in myself, you know, I've had to develop power and confidence in other ways. But if somebody was like raised at 15 with a gun and they feel protected by this gun, this is now kind of a place where they draw their power from.
Yeah.
And they haven't had to find other methods of this. And so when you just take that away, now that person feels naked and they feel defenseless and they will do anything and everything to retain that power. And that's what's a little scary, because if that gun is part of somebody's identity, they're not going to just turn it in for $50. They're going to retaliate.
Oh, for sure.
And it sucks because other countries don't have to deal with this same mentality that we created because of the freedom, and not only the freedom, but the glorification of guns. Yeah. Because guns symbolize power. They even look scary.
Yeah.
Like an assault rifle, it looks fucking scary.
Yeah.
You know? And that's, I don't know. It's
guns are fucking frightening, man. Like even I had a buddy who lived out in like Tacoma, Washington at the time, and his parents own a liquor store gas station. This fool, he was like, yo, he goes, okay, I saw you, you're doing Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu and stuff, right? He goes, what do you think I should take in order to like defend myself in case somebody comes to the store and tries to rob me? I was like, cool. I want you to go to a jiu-jitsu store, right? And then right next to it is a gun store. I want you to go to the gun store and go buy a gun. You dumb fuck. What do you mean?
Like, is jiu-jitsu going to teach you how to crouch and jump over the counter?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what, you going to catch a bullet with the fucking chokehold and shit?
Yeah.
The fuck, bro? Go get a fucking gun, right?
Yeah.
And like, even for me, like I'm scared of guns. You know, I know how to use one. I know, all the other shit just because Bart and Joe taught me. Doesn't change the fact that I'm not scared of it. It's a fucking lethal weapon. Like, I'm still scared of shit, but at least I know how to use it. And I know that, straight up get a gun. You know what I mean? So
Jesus Christ. But I mean, yeah, it's because we do, in my opinion, obviously we have a huge fucking problem with not only guns, but also something that I'm like very adamant about is like the media's glorification of certain things. When some kind of shooting happens, for a while, the person's name and their story was posted all over the internet. Yeah. So these people that felt like a nobody, they could finally become a somebody by doing something. You could be infamous. It was the fastest way to infamy. And now you feel like people know who you are. And that's all you ever wanted. Or that's what you think you want, you know? You want to be known, you want to be heard. But then, you know, these people that are in the situation, they're like, wait, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't fame. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you fucking did what you did at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're confused. A lot of them confused teenagers, confused young men, lonely people that just had the wrong perspective. But what happens is the media blows this up and it teaches some kid watching, like, you feel like a nobody, but you can be a somebody. Go get a gun and walk into a public place.
Remember remember like nobody remembers, the fucking MIT dude, the one that shot up the Korean guy.
In D.C. or it was in Virginia, I think.
It was in Virginia.
Yeah.
Is MIT in Virginia?
Yeah.
Then it is in Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about anything outside of California. But yeah, you know, him too, I think he was like bullied or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I mean, this is not funny, but it was funny because he was taking a bunch of pictures with him with the hammer and shit.
Yeah, with the gun. Because he drew his power from that weapon.
Yeah, he was like,
yeah, dude,
like,
this motherfucker had Polaroids, and he put. What did he do? He sent them to a news station.
Yep.
And they gave him all of the attention that he wanted.
When I watched that shit, I started cracking up a little bit. Not because the situation was terrible, but it was the fact that I felt like he took all these photos. He was like, not good enough.
Oh, damn, I fucking hate you.
These are not good enough. Oh, I don't like the lighting on this face.
Oh my!
And so he's like trying different, like maybe if I have an elbow a little higher, maybe like this. I was like cracking up a little bit.
Oh, I just rolled a little bit. I fucking hate you. I'm over here. I'm like all serious, and I'm like, gun control. And David's like, he needed the lighting.
I just pictured him off to the side putting like some foundation on his face.
Oh,
you know,
my.
little K-pop style, you know what I mean? Just
got
like,
a little zit.
I don't know. I gotta make sure if I'm gonna go out, it's gonna be a good one.
Oh my fucking God, David.
But, you know, that's the funny thing though. Like, I think if anybody who hasn't been bullied before or pushed into a corner, they don't know why somebody would do something like that. Right?
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people that should have gotten bullied at least once or twice.
You know, it kind of changes your perspective a lot. Like this kid, I don't know what the hell he went through, but he was an Asian immigrant. Well, I'm not sure if he was an immigrant, but he was an Asian kid in Virginia, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some racist white people probably made a few jokes at him.
A few?
Maybe a few thousands.
I literally cannot, like, out of every school I went to, I think I remember one Asian guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, so he was like that oddball out, and it was probably hard for him to deal with that shit.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, you feel like when you push somebody to a corner, they're not going to do something. If you see animals and you push them to a corner, no matter how weak you think that they are, they show their teeth.
Absolutely.
And that's what you do to people.
Absolutely. Like at first, you could run up on a rabbit, and at first it'll like keep running away, but like I don't know, motherfucker might bite you.
Manicula.
I gotta blow my nose, David.
Go ahead, do it. This is gonna go into that fucking weird Reddit page with a bunch of all the JK girls. Just do it real slow, then look into the camera and go, "You like that?" I saw that fucking Reddit page once, and that shit is one of the funniest things I've
you know what
ever
the funniest thing about it is?
What?
It's all Tiff. It's literally 90% Tiff.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it is. Like, dude, and I was telling her about this shit too, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, Gio, smoking hot. Nikki, smoking hot. Who are the other ones? Julia, smoking hot. Fucking Jess, pretty hot too. But you know, like, the whole thing is Tiff. It's
it
Tiff
definitely has
and
to
those
be
big old milkers. And like and the thing is that like I don't see it because like I was like scrolling through this shit because I just found this like 2 weeks ago and I was looking through it and I was like, oh, that's a picture of Tiff. Oh, that's a picture of Tiff. But then I would notice, bro, it's like the table is flat, but then these titties like cup over the table. Like there is
Tiff know what she doing. She's like,
dude,
I'm trying to be on this Reddit page. And she just rests her titties on the table.
I think she
like
just
it's
needs
grocery
a break.
bags.
Dude, and it took me a minute to notice that it was the breast assist because I thought it was just, I'm like, oh, that's my friend.
It's also because, maybe it's because Tiff, she also posts the most out of everybody, right?
I think it's also because she's a bad bitch. Like,
it's weird. I can't see her like that though because I met her when she was super young.
Tiff's a bad bitch though.
Yeah.
She got a good face, big old titties. She young, she fine, she out here.
Tiff is 30 now, which blows my mind, man.
Really?
I was like, oh fuck, that bitch is 30 years old now, man.
Yeah, dude. I googled how old you were before I came here.
Yeah, man.
32.
Yeah.
Wow.
32. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy, David.
Yeah. I'm 32.
I'm still a baby.
My Yeah, I am 32. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, I am 32.
Yeah, it's about that age.
Oh, shit.
That
dude.
happens to me all the time.
No wonder my fucking back went out yesterday and shit. God damn it.
I'm getting old now, man.
I like this age, though. I think when I was younger, I used to think 30 was super old.
Mm-hmm.
But then if somebody asked me right now, like, hey, don't you wish you could go back in time and be younger? I'd be like, nah, because it took me a while to be comfortable in my own skin. And that happened through time.
Yeah.
I can't go through that anxiety again.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't do that shit. I can't go through second guessing every single step that I make. I'm at a point in my life where I still second guess a lot, but it's nowhere near how it used to be because I'm more solid right now. My foundation is strong. It's like when I say fuck you now, I mean it. Like, it's crazy. It comes from my spirit.
Because you're like, I don't need you. I have
Yeah.
a plan. Here's my 5-year plan. And I don't see you in this. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it feels fucking good. Like I could say my opinions without worrying too much about the repercussions because I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because before it was like, this is like something small. So, let's say you had a group of friends, right? And this is some shit that always happens in high school. And if you're in high school and you're listening to this, you know what's up. You have a group of like, let's say 10 friends, right? But there's
10
like,
friends in high school.
yeah,
Wow.
I was a good guy.
Yeah. Jesus.
Boze is like, yeah, 10 friends. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck was that shit move?
Yeah.
But,
10 minus the 0.
Yeah, but so you're like 10 friends, right? And then there's probably, let's say, 8 of them you really like, but 2 of them you really don't fuck with.
Okay.
Right? But with those 2 that you don't fuck with, because you're so worried about the perception of the group and then, keeping things cool, you're always nice to them and you always invite them out. Well, guess what, kids? When you move past 18 and you're like in your 30s, those 2 people are never invited to the cookout. Ever. Because you don't have to be around people you don't want to
Wow.
be around. In high school, because you have to go to this thing called school, you have to be around them 24/7. So you have to look at their face, hear their voice. When you're an adult and you can create your own situations, you can choose who you want to be around. That is what I love about being an adult.
Wow.
It's like, look at this. I don't like you. Don't come near me. I will shit in your food. I will literally shit in your food. I will wait for you to have a child just so I could kidnap your kid.
Yeah, you lost me at 10 friends. Can't relate. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I still kick it with my high school friends to this day.
Really?
We have this thing called Friendsgiving, of course, and we've had it since we were 14.
God damn. I just started. LA's been pretty quiet for me this whole time. This is the first year that I've nonstop have people to hang out with. And oh my God, David, I'm going home for the first time this year in 3 years. And
3 years?
Yeah, dude, and my schedule is jam packed. I am undoubtedly at least from maybe my 3 years of high school, that span of grades, I'm definitely the I don't want to say more successful, but more kind of popular, outward facing thing because I have the following, I do, shit like this. I'm out in LA. A lot of people are still back at home. And so it's really funny that all of these people that really shit on me growing up, really shitting on me, now there's kind of I don't want to say a buzz about me back home because it's a really small town. But suddenly people that didn't want anything to do with me.
I'm so proud of you.
Fucking years ago.
They're like, I'm so proud of you. I always knew you were going to make it. Yo, man, you're doing great things.
Do you get that?
All the time.
Oh my God. And they never wanted to do. Guys, work your ass off. Work your ass off to flex. It feels good.
Tell them to suck your pussy, you bitches. You know what?
That.
Okay, well, suck your pussy. I like that phrase because it's suck my dick. Yeah. But the reason it's so funny because when people do that, there are people who have literally reached out to me. They go, "Yo, man, high school was a trip, right?" And I'm like, yeah. and I look at them and I'm like, who the fuck are you? I don't even know you. This podcast is brought to you by Raycon, my friends. Are you walking around listening to your lovely podcasts such as Genius Brain with wired earbuds? What are you doing, you idiot? That is uncomfortable. If you're going on long walks, you don't want this wire dangling around your face like a loose hair. You want wireless earbuds and you want premium quality that won't break your bank, but sounds amazing and looks really dope. Well, that's why you have Raycon, my friends. Raycon just released their best model yet, the E2 E25Ss. E25S. They have 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable. Perfect for on-the-go listening and for talking on the phone. You could talk on the phone. Dude, if you haven't talked on the phone with wireless earbuds, that stuff is Matrix stuff. It's, number one, I hate putting a phone to my face, and if I could just walk around and relax while just talking through my earbud pieces without a wire, perfect. And Raycon has your back. Unlike some of other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no dangling wires or stems. You've heard me talk about how the company was co-founded by Ray J and celebrities like Snoop Dogg and other steps are obsessed with Raycon. So pick up a pair and see what the hype is all about. Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/brain. That's buyraycon.com/brain for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Buyraycon.com/brain.
Dude, there was a guy that sat behind me in social studies for like, because our last names were similar for like years. We never really spoke. One day he followed me on Instagram and I was like, oh, I'll follow him back. And then he just starts responding to every story. And I'm like, we literally never spoke.
Exactly.
Ever. High school is a trip, right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What does that mean?
Yo, this was a while ago, but somebody, Sacramento's not that big of a town. And if you say some shit, people probably hear it. That's why when I tell stories from back in Sacramento, I don't use the actual names.
Right.
It's because it's a small town, word gets around like that. But this guy was going around. I don't even know this dude. Like, I kind of remember his face from maybe like a yearbook, or maybe I've seen him on school or something, around school and shit. But he was saying some shit like, oh, like David's like fucking persona that he puts online. That's some new shit. He was never like that in high school. And I'm like thinking like, you don't even know me. How would you know this? How would you fucking know this? You never had a conversation with me.
Like, you never gave me the time of day.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like you never, ever fucking talked to me. I've been the same dude since fucking day one. All my friends know this shit. I've probably gotten a lot louder since I gotten older because I gave less fucks. But other than that, it's been the same fucking guy. I mean, you could ask any of my friends from back at home. But this random person who doesn't know me, he wants to gain a little bit of attention and fame by talking shit about me to other people around my thing. And the funny thing is, I'm not a non-confrontational person. So, and I had to do this a couple of times with people, and not to say like I wasn't a fight or throw down. I'm not confrontational in terms of fist fighting, but if you have a problem, we should be able to talk about it. So I was at it's not called Vons, it's called Safeway, back in NorCal. So I was at a Safeway. Saw this dude, kind of looks, he's kind of like, doing that shifty eye thing, like whether he should approach me or not.
Oh shit.
One of those things, right? But,
probably like he wonders, like, does he know? Does he know I've been talking shit?
Yeah, and so like I was like, oh, now's my opportunity. I come up. I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? It's like, you've been doing big things. Already my blood pressure is starting to rise. And I was like, that's cool, man. I was like, hey, bro, like, I don't even know you like that, but how come you're like telling all these other people that like I'm not who I am? He's like, nah, you getting shit twisted, man. That's not what I said. And I'm like, what is going on with this dude, right? This is like this bitch madeness in people. Like, if you're gonna talk that shit, at least own up to it. My thing is, like, if I talk shit behind your back, you best believe I already said it to your face.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, it's not even like, oh, if I talk shit about you, you can approach me and we'll like hash it out. Like, no, I've already said it to you.
Yeah.
In fact, I make sure that I say it to you before I go say it to anybody else. And if I'm saying it, fuck you. That's probably like, seriously. I have no problem. If I get to a point where I'm talking about somebody to somebody else, it means I've exhausted all resources solving the problem with the person.
Yeah.
And I'm done with it. I'm venting. I'm fed up. Like, I don't talk shit to talk shit. If I'm talking shit, it's probably to vent. But it's because you fucking pissed me off. We've been trying to work this out. It's not working out. I've told you to go fuck yourself, and here we are.
Like, how is that talking shit behind your back? I've already said it to the front of your face.
Exactly. What is it? We're just not allowed to say anything negative?
Yeah.
We just can't say anything negative?
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like you.
Yeah,
I've
and that's
explicitly told
okay.
you.
That's okay. Like, if we don't, I feel like like, you know what? If I don't like you and I'm talking shit about you, talk shit back to me,
yeah,
and let's just hash out. We're like, great, we don't like each other. At least we're having fun. I get to yell at you. You get to give me constructive feedback.
Dude, it's funny too, because there's some other people, like I talk mad shit about certain people that I really don't like, and it's very rare that I actually dislike somebody, right? So like if I do dislike them, I dislike them a lot. But the funny thing is like I hear things that they've said about me, which doesn't really affect me. I'm just more like, damn, like you don't like that? that's cool. Right? It's like, I never liked you too, but you're going out of your way to talk that shit. But the funny thing is, they forget you talk shit. I could talk shit way better than you. So let's get it. Let's do this shit, right? So this shit gets a little out of hand, and then all of a sudden I receive a message through somebody else because they can't confront me. They tell one of our mutual friends, "Yo, just tell David it's all love, man. That it's all good." No, now I'm just gonna do it more. Now I'm gonna do it 10 times more. You fucked up. Like, don't give me ammo. Don't give me ammo to know that it affects you like that on the daily.
Yeah,
because I'm doing it for sport and fun. But if it's hurting your feelings, now I like it even more. You know what I mean?
I mean, I have to say though too, I'm in this point in my life where I think in my early 20s, I was like very emotional and very reactive.
Yeah.
And very people pleasery, just like a lot of unfavorable qualities. And I was always stressed out. Always stressed out. And like now I'm in this spot where I want my life to be as stress-free as possible. Like, if I don't like you, I'm probably just I'll probably either stop talking to you, or I think like just last year or like the beginning of the year, I had a girl that we were really close for 6 months. She was a really bad compulsive liar, and it was stressful for me because I don't want to have to feed, like when we speak, I know what you're saying is true. There's no extra thought in it. I had to put everything that she said through a filter of, is she telling me the truth? Ugh. And I mean, that coupled with a few other things, I was just over it. And so like, I kind of stopped talking to her and she kept probing. And eventually I was like, hey, we've talked about this. It's an issue. This feels kind of like a toxic friendship. I'm like, I care about you, but and I literally broke up with a friend, and I try to do things in the least stress-free way possible because I don't want to deal with it later. I don't want that.
Damn, I'm more like, let's talk the shit out. What's up?
Well, you know what I mean? Well, we tried.
Like, I don't have that thing of like, hey, it's like even with breakups, right? Even if I did have a great breakup, let's say like we split, I'm just like, whatever happens to you, I could give a fuck less. And I was just like, be with God.
Be with God.
God.
Oh my God, that's going to be my 2020 thing. Like, if you are not additive to my life, go be with God.
Yeah, go with God. Go with God. Be you. Go with God.
I'm taking that, dude.
That's my shit, dude.
Go with God.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's because, and I'm finding that a lot of people aren't on this wavelength that I have, where it's just more, not like my wavelength is better, but it's more like, if I don't like you, if you fucking died, I don't care. It's like, I literally could care. And that's like the most un-Christ-like thing about me, which maybe I'm trying to fix a little bit because I'm trying to be more Jesus-like here.
Yeah, I know.
But
I thought you were the anointed one, David.
I am, but like I said, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. Uh-huh. But if you have wronged me deeply, if you died, I would shed a tear of joy. I would sit there. I would find where you live, wait for you to die. And then right before you pass away, I would look into your eyes. I would reach out my hand, clasp your hand, and say, "You know what? You deserve this."
Shut the fuck up.
I would go away. Then I would show up at the funeral. They would be buried. I would get a man to make hardwood floors above his grave, put on tap shoes, and then start river dancing all over the thing.
While yelling, "You got what you deserved."
And then I would chisel on his gravestone.
Fucking David.
Be with God.
Go with God.
Go with God. I'm a petty man. I feel like pettiness is the thing that keeps me going. I don't fucking know why. It's my shit, dude. It makes me happy.
But I mean, like, if that's I don't know. You can't relate, David.
Petty wop, dude. That's what they call me.
Petty wop.
They call me petty wop, dude.
Oh my gosh.
That's who the fuck I am.
I have to like. Okay, I also went on this new. See, I feel like we're very different in this sense because, like, David, I gotta live that stress-free life. Like, I don't want it. Like, I just.
Oh, for sure. It's like, I think your route is very, very healthy. It's super healthy.
But your route is pleasurable.
It's very pleasurable. And the thing is, like, I don't stress about it either. You know what I mean? Like, when like somebody I dislike comes up to me, or if we have a confrontation, it happens in that moment, and then I move on. It's just like in the moment, I'm in the moment, and then I'm like, oh, life goes on. I think that's how my parents solve things, though. Like, I've always seen my parents get into like these huge fights, and shit's all bad. And then after it's solved, they're just like, and then they walk off, and then life's good.
I'm like that too, but and you know what? I kind of like had to like dive in, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. Actually, I think I was talking about it on the girls' podcast. We're basically like, look, here's the thing. I'm at a point where I've been through so much shit, like really bad shit, you know? And I'm a very sensitive person, so any of my bad situations, they get magnified like times 4. But I think that's great because I haven't had to go through any like insane traumas or issues. I just had to deal with some unfavorable things, but I felt them a lot more deeply, I feel like, than some people do. And because of that, when little arguments arise or something, I don't have time for it. I absolutely do not have time for it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's why they say like shit like that comes with age, because when you're younger, you haven't dealt with a lot of bumps in the road, so every bump in the road feels so traumatic. But as we get older, last year I literally lost my job without notice while I'm out in California, a single woman with no savings. I was like, that's fucking scary. And then compared to if somebody wants to talk shit to me on Twitter, I do not give a fuck. Like, I've been through worse stuff. And I think that's like for all of us.
It's interesting because I know like when social media happens, I don't think a lot of people are ready for the type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Toxic environment social media is, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to take all the good from something, but we don't want to recognize the bad.
Right.
And so when you put yourself out there in like specifically social media, right? You're putting yourself out there to be judged constantly. And that's just the space that you're in. You have to have the right mental fortitude to understand that this is what this space is meant for. It is. Like, if you come out here and you for example, if you're young and you go, I want to be YouTube famous, and you fucking drink in all these great comments. Then there's one comment that says, your fucking shit is dumb. And then you dwell on this one negative comment and it eats you up on the inside. It's because you didn't prepare yourself mentally for what the real world is like.
Yes, what's out there. You know what's funny? So similarly to that, I was watching, there's been this uprising of commentary channels that are not, well, it was commentary. Now they're just criticism channels.
Yeah.
Anytime something happens, there's like a slew of YouTubers that have to talk about it. And it's usually pretty intense. And one of the big topics that's come up has been, have you seen Lilly Singh's show?
Her late night show?
Yeah.
I have not. And is it bad?
You gotta watch the videos, man. People are tearing it apart. And people made a really great point. Lilly Singh was this YouTuber that came up 10 years ago. She amassed 15 million followers,
Sheesh.
All of her fans, and they told her, Lilly, you're great. Lilly, you're amazing. Lilly, 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 Lilly.
Then the real world comes out.
And then she goes into traditional media, and they're like, you can't host. You can't tell jokes. You can't write. You can't do this, and your audience is all kids, but we gave you something that's more adult-facing, like a talk show, but your entire audience is like under 15, and they don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
And it didn't mesh, and it's like, I don't know if she was ready to go into traditional media.
Well, it's because she was drinking her own fucking Kool-Aid the whole time.
Shit.
That's what it was.
I feel like there's a lot of YouTubers that do that.
That's not just her too, by the way. If you guys are shitting on that, that's all of you, dude. That's me included. We get caught up in our own fucking bullshit all the time, right? And we gas ourselves up. We think we're dope. That's why I always like to tell myself, David, so you are not shit. And the reason why is because I need to be on my fucking toes.
Yeah, I hear that.
I need to be on my toes. Like, it's not a bad thing for me to say, I will never be a Dave Chappelle stand-up ever. You know?
Yeah.
It's just me recognizing certain things, and the number one is, how much time am I going to dedicate to this, and do I really have the innate ability to do this? Like,
yes.
I need to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you don't have it. You'll be great at other things.
And you know what else is amazing to me? How many YouTubers don't take formal training?
Oh, they refuse. They think they're the shit.
Yeah, they're like, well, I've already got all these views. I've got all this. I'm great. And it's like, but you need to be prepared for these other things. What about when you don't do YouTube forever?
They're not thinking about that, though.
And I think, but you know what I think also, like, to an extent, we have to drink our own Kool-Aid because I don't know if y'all know this, I was going to say I will say like 80% of YouTubers are fucking sad. I mean, like, depressed. They're always looking back at their peak and saying, oh, I'm going to get back to that, whatever it was that made me famous. But that thing that made you famous 5 years ago, it's not a trend anymore. So you have to do something new.
You have to evolve.
Yeah, you have to. And they're looking back at their past. They're looking at their numbers. Like, to an extent, our lives every day, and I think you and I, like, we've kind of gone paths where we're not looking at it as much, but for some people, every day their life is defined by a number, whether it be their likes, their YouTube views, their Twitter likes, their brand deal numbers, their comment, everything. Their entire persona is rated on a scale of 1 to 1,000 or, you know, something. Like, that shit is so unhealthy, but so many of us go into this because we're insecure, because we're damaged, and then we have to drink our Kool-Aid a little bit, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. You can't tie your entire ego to these people that don't really know you telling you you're the best person ever and you can do anything.
Here's the thing, like, you know, with somebody like Lilly Singh, I saw a couple of videos back in the day. And, you know, when I say a couple of videos, I mean, it's literally like 2 or 3 videos. Like, that's really about it. Not because I'm hating on a motherfucker. Blow that shit. Not because... There it is. I like a woman that just blows her nose.
All right, here we go.
That's tight. But not because, like... What the fuck was I saying? Oh, with Lilly Singh. Not because, like, I'm a hater or something. It's because if I like something, I'll continue to watch it. But I'll give it a couple of tries, right?
Right.
And so... With Lilly, I could understand definitely why her stuff. When I found out that she had a late night show, I could have thought of a lot of different people who would have done a way better job. And not because I'm hating on her. It's like you said, like her average demographic has to be from the age 2 to like 14. So what the fuck was a late night show going to do for her?
I mean,
and then for her to think that she was going to kill it on that stage also shows a little no self-awareness.
I mean, it's a big job. It's like,
yes,
it's a big I think
job.
You're like on set, daily for 10 hours? You're essentially the showrunner. I mean, that's such a big jump. And then also, like, maybe back up, like, I'm a big proponent of taking classes, you know, work. I'm sure she's taken 1.5 million classes. But, you know, I also feel for her, too, because she came into YouTube in the golden era and everyone hyped her up. And you know what else is kind of fucked up? I genuinely believe the network predominantly picked her, because I've been in this situation before, because she is a minority female.
And she's pretty.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like sometimes people use us, particularly minority females, because they're like, great, this slots in perfectly. This makes it look good.
Yeah. Like, number one, aside from her sitting in her own room talking to herself, what was her crowd work that she's ever done before? Aside from doing these concerts of little children that come to see her go up on stage and do these terrible raps. Like, what was her pedigree? You know what I mean? Was she a stand-up comic? Does she do improv shows? Like, what is it, right?
Interesting.
Is every Tonight Show going to be her doing an Indian accent of her parents? Like, what did you think was going to happen? And when I saw that stuff, and I think I said on a JK News, I'm like, I didn't know it was doing that terrible, right? But I said, like, I'm not sure if I was mentioning her, but there were certain YouTubers, like, for example, like Grace Helbig.
Yeah.
Like, when she did her show bombed, and it was years ago.
Really?
Like, she went linear to like a.
What network was it on?
I can't remember, but it was a talk show. It was on billboards everywhere in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
And she bombed. And I felt like sometimes people are setting up these people to fail a little bit.
But it's because, and that's what's fucked up. I think probably with Grace Helbig, if it was a big network, like she's really big, and they're like, oh, she's going to give us numbers. And then...
But you have to set it up right, though.
Exactly. And then for Lilly Singh, they were like, okay, she's a YouTuber, she's a minority, and she's female. Perfect. And they kind of set her up to fail.
Yeah.
Because anybody should have seen, like, hey, we need to tighten this up, you know? Another thing with Colleen Barringer, Miranda Sings, they gave her a Netflix show because Netflix wanted to use her for her viewership and her demographic. They were like, this woman is going to pull in this new audience. And then when they didn't do the work to bridge the traditional and the YouTube, because that's Netflix's job. They have to. When they didn't do the work to bridge those two, then they said, oh, those YouTubers have a shelf life. Oh, those YouTubers can't make it in traditional.
No, you got to curate it like you curate all your other talents.
Exactly. Why? And here you have this person that you can really leverage. Like Lilly, leverage her. Colleen, leverage her. But they expect them to do all of the work and they expect the followers to just come. And where are the marketing dollars behind these shows too?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are they? You know? like I don't understand. I think it's also the networks failing the creators, and then they want to say, then the traditional media wants to say like, oh, YouTubers can't make it. It doesn't work.
And if we're talking about this, because I know I read that comment multiple times. So let's talk about Lilly Singh's talk show, which it's so funny. I didn't even look into it because I thought that was like a
wait. You had a comment on this
because I'm always asking like what's the next podcast that you want me to do?
Oh shit!
About?
I just brought it up.
And they talked about the Lilly Singh thing, but I didn't know that it was a hot topic recently. I thought it was like, oh wait, she's had a talk show for a while now. So I'm like, oh, is there something new with it? I didn't really look into it, but I didn't know it was like getting roasted like that.
Well, it's, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Like I feel like we're not even like roasting it right now. We're kind of like singeing on it, but these criticism channels are really roasting it. But they are also using her for their viewership too.
Of course.
You know, like when we brought this up, we're just using it as a conversation piece because we know about both sides of the industry. I work so heavily with traditional media, and you know, you're literally doing you out here doing a lot of shit. I really think that there is a disconnect with these companies.
Yeah, they should have had her like on, I think a great linear thing was her being on like Sesame Street first. Like not as a joke. Like if she has a younger audience, because they always bring in celebrities for Sesame Street, right? How dope would it have been for her to be a guest on Sesame Street?
And they have the connections to do that. Or if NBC has a great PR team. If NBC reaches out to a YouTuber with a similar crossover audience, have her do collabs. Have her do 20 collabs before the show launches. Drum up some hype. That is their responsibility, and they're not doing their due diligence. And then they just blame it on the creators.
Yeah, because I saw the few videos that I saw were this. It was one, she was doing, she imitates her parents a lot, which I thought was like funny for the first like, first time. And then I saw a second video, she did the same thing. I was like, oh, she's just going to do this until it gets beat to the ground. And then I saw her on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. And that's when I was like, this girl is not very good outside of her own camera. Because she was trying to do these jokes, like on the Daily Show, right over everybody's head. Because it was terrible. Her jokes were so bad. And I was like, oh. And then when I found out on JK News that she was going to get her own talk show, I was like, did they not see her on The Daily Show? She's not ready for this.
But they also, that's not her audience. They're, instead of...
Also, she's just really bad at jokes. Like, it's terrible. It was like the jokes were fucking terrible. It was like, it's like she always laughing to make sure, just to try to get the crowd to laugh with her. But it was so bad.
Yeah, but she also, like, I think I haven't really like caught up on the whole show. I just saw clips from it, but I think that they have her do kind of a stand-up thing in the beginning, and somebody writes her jokes.
Fucking comic,
but
man.
That's also the thing, dude. She does skits. You guys have the dollars for it. Do skits. Like skip the segment. Like just do a skit to open every other week. Fucking batch shoot them. They know that they can do that, and like I don't get it. In my opinion, I think it's the networks failing them and the networks wanting to use these creators for their demographic and the audience they bring in, but they're not helping. They just want to have them do all the work, and when it doesn't work out, they blame.
It also could be on her end too, of her once again not being self-aware, and she probably sold herself as this person that could do everything. It's like, I got this. This is cake. This is easy. So they probably fucking bought some of her bullshit too. Because I know with some of these meetings, like these guys, they talk about themselves so big,
Yeah.
They're not grounded. They don't see that shit like, oh, this might be hard. Like I did a recent show on Netflix, and I know that what I'm doing on this show is something that I've done constantly, right? But it doesn't mean that I wasn't fucking nervous. Like I sat there and I was like, okay, I got to make sure that I kill this. I need to make sure that I know what's going on. So I did my due diligence. I sat down. I saw the other productions of shows that they've done that's similar to this. So I got the vibe and the feel of it. I got to know who the co-host was. And I'm sitting there doing my research. I'm not going in there thinking that I'm going to kill it and knock it out the park. I'm praying that that'll happen. But I have to make sure that I'm on top of my game, right? But a lot of the times with some of these YouTubers, they're given so fucking much, they're not grounded. They don't know what it's really like.
Yeah, that's fair.
And how it's supposed to be. So on her end too, maybe, I'm just playing the other side. Like maybe for her, she was like, oh, this is going to be cake. Like I got this shit. I'm funny. People laugh. I get millions of likes all the time. That's cool. You're on a different platform now. So what are you going to do? And that's the thing. Like you have to be well versed in this thing. I couldn't think that my YouTube acting was good enough when I went to go do my own film. I didn't. I got linked up with my friend Justin, who showed me the ropes. He worked on my fucking acting, and I made sure that I had to knock it out the fucking park. Gone to Sundance, flex. And then but people don't understand the work it took to get there. You know what I mean? I knew how bad I was like at acting. I was good at 5-minute sketches. Now, how do I take that and do a fucking hour-and-a-half film?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, humble yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm also, I agree and disagree with that, David. I'm agreeing to disagree, because I'm a big fake it till you make it person. Like, for example, the job that I have right now, I feel like I am so underqualified for this job.
But you are qualified, though.
But that's the thing. I grew into it, and I did grow into it very quickly because I was so scared. But like when the opportunity presented itself, I jumped on it, and I had to huff myself up and say like, yeah, I could do this. But when I got into the position of it, like similarly with the Lilly thing, I was like, okay, what classes do I need to take? What courses do I need to take? What do I need to do? Like, okay, I got it. Now let me make sure I live up to those expectations. And so I see what you're saying.
But not everybody's you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I also, too, people don't know you're actually a very thorough and diligent person. You have shit,
David.
but you already have shit booked out. I don't even book shit. You know what I mean? I just see what happens. My life is literally sawdust and I throw it in the fucking wind. You know what I mean? And then I see what happens.
Has anything grown?
Yeah, you know what I say with be with God? That's also I say to myself. You know? I look at the mirror, I'm like, yo, you fucking fuck, be with God. Because I throw my shit out. You, on the other hand, are a very methodical person. You're not a very haphazard human being. I'm not sure if you know this about yourself. You're not very haphazard. You have goals, you set things up, and you make sure things happen. I don't really have that.
I have to, though.
Exactly, but that's you. There's not a lot of people who do that. There's not everybody in this world who actually has set plans, set goals, and they find the exact way to tackle it. If it doesn't, they shift and they move and they move and they move and they move. That's you. You are not this free bird. You know what I mean? Your life is a grid, dude. You know what I'm saying? And you fucking plug shit in.
That is so funny. Also, what a great compliment.
It is you. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to take a little piece of what you do, but for some reason I can't do it. Like even with the podcast, right? The funny thing is, like these commenters, they got my ass. They're like, well, "Why didn't you tell us you were gonna do this?" I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, "That's right. I should have done that shit. I didn't think about it though." You know what I mean? They're like, "Why don't you at least tell us you're gonna do a podcast instead of just switching it up?" I'm like, that would have been really smart. You know what I mean? But I didn't really do that.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think, like, I think that comparison to yourself, which I hope most people can be like that, but it's very hard for people to do what you do. It's not easy because a lot of us are just so scatterbrained. A lot of people are. Huh. Even some people who say that they're organized, I look at them, I'm like, you're as organized as I am, dude, which means you are not organized. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm not really organized, though. I'm just more so, like, goal-oriented and, like, overly determined.
That's very good.
Like, overly determined.
Man, I mean, I got a little roasted too because on the JK News, Lilly Singh, she wrote a book about, it's like how to be a unicorn or something, right? It was like this book. It was like a life experience book, right? And I'm like,
how to be a boss?
That's how to be was it a boss?
Yeah, it's a book.
Yeah, but then in my mind, I'm like, what have you done? Like just from an adult perspective, it's like, what have you lived? And
but
what
you
have
know
you
what
done?
that book is for, right?
It's for little kids.
No, it's for, that means that look, David, you know other side of the industry. She got an agent. Her agent said, okay, we hire a ghostwriter for $10,000. You tell them about your life. And now we sell the book and now we make $150,000 or $500,000. And me as the agent, I take my $100,000 cut. And you're going to do this because of that. That's why all of this random shit comes out. If you have a YouTuber that you really like and suddenly they have a self-help book or a new hockey club or they just got an agent. That's what it is. The agent just signed on and the agent wants 20% or 10%, whatever it may be. That's where all that shit comes from.
100%, but for her case, I don't think that's what it was.
You think?
I think for her, she was like sucking her own pussy.
Oh, God damn it, David. I just like clenched up.
I'm trying to be, I don't want to say suck my own dick because that's too, I'm trying to be progressive. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no, David. It's 2019. Sucking her own dick. Say cock if you want.
Oh, you know what? I'm fucking up. Sucking her own clit. That sounds better. She's over here like sucking her own clit. You know
I hate it.
And I feel like she does feel like she has something. Well, she does to a younger audience. Like I said, I'm not hating on the chick though. But this is just like me thinking about like what it is to be in her head right now. Going through something like this, and it's maybe a little learning lesson for us. Like that, or just be like somebody like me who just doesn't give a fuck. Just reach, constantly reach, and if people tell you you're out of line, be like, fuck you, bitch.
Keep walking.
Just keep walking and doing your own thing. But once again, I'm also somebody who doesn't have her views. I don't have her viewership. I don't have her reach either. So she's way beyond me,
I get that. I get that.
That's Lilly Singh,
I
dude.
don't know. I think we agreed to disagree a little bit on that topic.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you though.
I fucks with that though.
I don't actually disagree with you.
God,
I feel like that's how it is for most people. I just don't think it's her case.
God, I love when I have conversations with people and we don't agree about the same thing, but like we're still like actively listening to it. That's so whack. I'm at the age where I'm like, wow, I love active listening and dynamic conversations.
No, that's why I get. You know, that's why sometimes I get sucked up into the whole Twitter thing because I expect people to do that, to disagree without using attacking words.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes people say dumb shit, and then if I say like, "Yo, this is why it's incorrect," and they come out and. Like I talked about this on a video recently where people don't know how to prove their point without bringing in like superfluous shit. So for example, this is what a lot of people do online. You and I have a disagreement, right? It'll be, let's say, about the color blue, right? Or let's say it's I don't know, is white a color? Let's say that's the topic, right? I'll be like, white is not a color, right? And you'll be like, yes, white is a color. I was like, no, white isn't a color because of this, this, and this, right? And then you would say, well, you don't like white people because you're an Asian man and white people did some other shit to you, so it's a racial thing. It's like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? So a lot of the times when people argue, they get caught up in their feelings and they bring up all these random stuff that are hot topics or like social justice issues, and they make it into this bigger universal issue to bolster their argument to get an emotional support. And I fucking hate that because nobody ever addresses what's being said. Like I talked about my opinion about like crazy K-pop fandom. Right?
Yeah.
Which I think I'm okay to say an opinion about that. I'm a Korean man. I listen to Korean music. I covered Korean music. I've been asked to do like these Korean idol like singing shows, which I said no. Like I know a lot of people in the Korean music industry, and I state my opinion about Korean K-pop fandom, and their argument is, well, you don't know about this shit because blah 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 blah. Everybody thinks that we're all this and that. And I'm like, okay. We're talking about two different things. You know what I mean? I'm talking about my opinion about what K-pop fandom is, and then you're talking about you being made fun of because you like K-pop. So, you know, and the funny thing about, and my biggest issue with like hardcore K-pop fans, they actually think that they're an oppressed group. The way they talk about when they're being made fun of for liking.
Well, they are oppressed, but for other reasons. But the thing is that. For them, K-pop is their identity. It's their escape. And when you attack K-pop, you think you're attacking a thing, but they see you as attacking their sense of self,
which is stupid.
But I mean, that's what it is.
But that's the problem, though, right? It's like they go.
But
well,
is it a problem?
Us as a group, it's like you are not a religion, you are not a race, you are not an oppressed group.
But is it a problem, or is it their coping mechanism, David?
Get the fuck out of your own ass is what I'm saying, right? Because it's with this one specific music genre.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you have to learn how to separate that thing eventually. I'm talking about adults. If you're a young teenager, I understand you're going through your shit.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking adult and you haven't separated those two, that people can dislike what you like and not saying, I don't like you as a person, you grow the fuck up.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
That's what it is.
14, 15-year-olds, because that's what I think a lot of like the K-pop fandom are, like, that's fine.
You get a pass. You're young.
It's your coping mechanism. But for adults, I say more so it's not healthy. You can't put your identity, and there's a lot of people, early 20s, late 20s, that their identity is not them. Their identity is a thing, and it's completely tied to that thing. Sometimes somebody's identity is their entire sexuality. And so when, the LGBTQ community gets attacked, they are under attack fully. Or there's a lot of people that do that. They tie their interests into their ego, and it's not healthy for them.
And that's what I'm trying to say. That is exactly, you word it so much better. That's what I mean by you are not your interest. Exactly. You are you. You know what I mean? And it's so fucking unhealthy to identify yourself as something as fleeting as a genre of music.
Yeah.
Right? Because everything becomes a personal attack now. It goes, you don't like this person? Well, fuck you. Let me tell you something about this. Asian men are attractive. Where are you going with this? Nobody's talking about that. And even if they didn't find Asian men attractive, people are allowed to have their fucking opinions. That's a lot. That's something that people don't really vibe with, I think, a lot. People say that you're allowed to have your opinion, but you only say that if it only coincides with yours.
Yeah.
That's problematic for me.
Yeah.
Because I can have an opinion whether I think your opinion is stupid or not, but I could still fuck with you as a human being, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And people would I wish people would understand that a little more.
Well, it also comes from the fact that people that tend to absorb a thing as their identity, it comes from not liking themselves first. So the step-by-step process for that is incredibly difficult because first they have to separate themselves from this thing that they love. And usually that happens naturally. It doesn't happen consciously. It becomes, I'm 28 now. I don't like K-pop as much. So then they separate from that thing and now they're just lost. But you first have to separate yourself from that thing. And now you're kind of lost in the ether. Now you have to go back to, well, maybe I need to stop hating myself. Then to, I feel okay with myself. Then to, I love myself. And so there's a lot of steps in between to get to that point. And that's incredibly difficult for people to do, nonetheless even recognize that they're doing.
Fucking recognize that shit already, all right? I know it's
David's like, get it together.
I know it's a very difficult process, but like I want people to at least acknowledge it. Acknowledge that problem.
You know what I feel like? You know that Key and Peele skit where there's it's Obama's anger translator?
Yes.
I feel like I'm your calm translator.
That's exactly what it is. Because I'm trying to help you. You know what I mean? Because I used to be like that too.
Me too.
I'm trying to help you.
Me too. And you know what? I wonder, like, this is going to sound really whack. It may not be true, but I'll throw this thought out there. I wonder if we're also kind of mad at them because we see ourselves in that.
No, that's exactly
what it is. And we're like,
it is.
I got through that. You need to get through that shit too.
I always
But
say
to an
this.
extent, David, it's because you care.
Oh, for sure. I always say this too. The qualities that we hate in somebody else is the qualities that we see in ourselves.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
100%.
God damn it.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
really what it is. So when I see that, like, for example, like it goes as far as this, where you guys take personal experiences and you think that somebody's shitting on your personal experience. Like, for example, Nikki loves Eminem, right?
Yeah.
I'm not using this. This never happened, but I'm using this as an example, like a fake example. Let's say Nikki loves Eminem, right?
Yeah.
And I go like, I don't think Eminem's that dope of a rapper. And then her response would be like, he helped me prevent myself from killing myself. He helped me through my dark times. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's your personal experience.
Great.
I'm just telling you that it did it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Nobody's shitting on you that K-pop, Eminem, fucking Tupac, whatever, helped you in a dark place. That's your personal experience.
Yeah.
But not everybody has to share that experience. And not everybody can see that.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. All right? If you guys want me to sing Cream music, I sing Cream music all day, motherfucker.
Go ahead.
Oh, shit. Don't put me on the spot, bitch.
Come on, man. Tell us a joke. Tell us a joke. You know how people do that with stand-up comedians? They're like, do something funny, man.
I fucking hate that,
We'll sing
dude.
a song, David.
You're a comic? Oh, can you tell me a joke? Make me laugh.
Make me laugh.
Okay. You were born. Boom. That's a joke. Excuse me. Fuck you.
You gotta have your... David, I'm having such an allergy attack right now. My nose is so itchy. My nose is really red, isn't it?
I don't think so. I can't tell.
Okay.
Yeah, you look fine.
Thank you, David.
And plus, we're far enough where I make sure that people always look good.
Oh, shit.
I don't got
Hell
that.
yeah,
I don't
dude.
even got that zoom in shit.
Oh,
you know
my
what I mean?
God.
And the reason why we have the camera like this is I think people really... This bitch blew her nose and a vein popped out the side of her head. I make sure it looks like people are in the conversation, that they're just sitting right there.
Hello, camera.
That's what it is.
Hello.
See, this is how people should speak to each other. It's like agree and disagree.
Yeah.
I like this.
Oh, yeah, because fuck you, David.
No, fuck you,
Fuck
dude.
you,
No,
David.
fuck you.
No, fuck you.
That's so funny. Well, guys, this wraps this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast.
Wait. Well, guys, this wraps this episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because it's my only social platform, Big Boss Boze. And then make sure you follow my my special guest today. David, where can they find you?
They can find me at DavidSoComedy or the Genius Brain Podcast.
Like, what the fuck?
That's good, dude. Yo, but check next year. Boze is gonna be working on some shit.
Oh,
so keep your motherfucking
shit.
eye open, man. Because until then, I'm taking all her shit on my podcast.
Yeah, dude, everything. When we do another episode, I might tell you what I do for work. Nobody knows. I spill all my tea on David's podcast.
I fucking love it. But catch us on iTunes. If you see us on iTunes, give it that 5-star. Write comments below. Converse. I want to hear your thoughts about everything. See you on the next episode, motherfuckers. Love yourself. Suck your own clit. Suck your own dick.
Suck your own dick.
Yes. I can't. It's too small. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.